Good day, all. Happy Wednesday. I'm Derek. This is Cherry Blossom CBD, and we are here with What the Hemp Wednesday. We bring you news, hemp news, I should say, from all over the country and all over the world. So, not all over the world today, but we're staying semi-local. All right. So, first story: the USDA has sent out, actually mailed out, its first actual hemp survey. So, basically, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, backed by the Natural Agricultural Statistics Service, began sending its first hemp acreage and production survey to kind of gather some data and figure out, like, well, how much hemp is the United States producing, how much yields are being how much yield from that production, and what is the value of those crops post production. So the USDA's Agricultural Marketing Service mandated the survey, and basically it's going to assist producers, regulatory agencies, governments, processors, retailers about hemp and give you a little bit more information to go on. All right, so second story: Arkansas, their medical cannabis sales have proved to be an investment gold mine for the state. Half of the revenue from Arkansas's medical cannabis sales, $25 million to be exact, is half. So it's $50 million total, was collected over the 9 months. So $25 million collected in 9 months since I think about April or May of this year. Medical cannabis sales began in Arkansas in 2019, and the state started collecting taxes on that revenue in the middle of that year, and a total $50 million since then. Since May of 2019, Arkansans, if I said that correctly, if I did not, please excuse me, anyone from Arkansas, have spent $430 million on nearly 64,000 pounds of medical cannabis, and that covers, 78,000 registered medical cannabis patients. Go ahead, Arkansas, and hopefully you're going to be a good example for some of the rest of the states, especially those in the South that have been begging, like Mississippi we talked about last week, for some changes in just the medical, not recreational, just medical. Okay, so in more exciting news, former NFL running back Ricky Williams and former Heisman Trophy winner, I should say, Ricky Williams, launched his cannabis brand on Monday called, no less, Highsman. And we all know that Ricky Williams had a couple suspensions based on his failure to pass tests in the NFL in his career. He set out and amazingly came back and sort of like almost like he didn't miss a beat. You know, he set out for like 3 or 4 years. But regardless, his cannabis brand is going to be called Highsman, and not Heisman, but Highsman. So pretty clever. He's going to be selling not only cannabis products, but other themed items, rolling trays, cases, water bottles, and everything's going to be sort of football themed. Or football. So sativa strain is called pregame, hybrid is called halftime, and the indica strain is called postgame. It was probably pretty clever, I thought. In a quote from Ricky Williams, "It is time that we change the way we talk about cannabis. Heisman is about appreciation for greatness. There's a passionate and dedicated team behind the brand, and together we want to help all people inspire greatness in themselves." Ricky Williams. If I remember correctly, Ricky Williams might have played for the Baltimore Ravens for a little while. And yeah, I could be wrong about that, but I think that did happen. So Ricky Williams was suspended, he's like 5 times for his violations. But in March, the NFL has decided that they would end suspensions for positive cannabis tests and raise the threshold for failed tests from 30 nanograms of THC per milliliter of blood to 150. So that's really, really positive steps on behalf of the NBA. Interesting, another survey, and interesting that published Monday by Redfin, the real estate brokerage website, found that 40% of respondents would prefer to live or will only live in a place where cannabis is legalized broadly. Let's talk about this. So what do they have to say here? 40%, just 22% of residents would not or prefer not to live in a place where cannabis is not allowed. Another 32% of respondents said they didn't care whether cannabis was legal or not when they decided where they wanted to live. Redfin's poll found that 34% of respondents, the highest majority, preferred to live in places where there was adult cannabis use, and that was places where they're no longer prohibited, either or. And 12% of those polled said they would only live in a place where cannabis was fully legal. Just 10% of the 10,023 participants said they would not live in a place where cannabis is legal. So, very interesting. That's pretty much it for today. that is pretty much it. But I thought that was really good news. And more and more people are trying to discover the miracle of this thing. And so much that we're going to kind of highlight a couple of events that are going on in the next couple months. So if you are a business and you're trying to get out there to some expos and start networking with some people, there are 3 events that are coming up. They're Virginia Beach, in Virginia Beach on November 19th and 20th. There's CannaCon. So that's at the Virginia Beach Convention Center. The Black Cannabis Conference, the first Black Cannabis conference for entrepreneurs, is coming to New Orleans, Louisiana in November 18th through the 20th. That's very cool because I'm going to highlight what's the young lady's name who organized this, Christy Price. And Christy's a longtime marketing executive for brands like Nike, Red Bull, and Guinness. Price started her media company to address some of the inequities that she saw developing in the cannabis space. Thank you, Ms. Price. And quote from her, there are no business-to-business media or conferences that target people of color in this space. People of color in this space and people of color have had a very different experience with the plant, both in terms of criminal justice and from the diversity and inclusion perspective. So that'd be a great place. And there's also one more. It's called the USA CBD Expo. That's going to be a pretty big one. That's at Chicago and McCormick Place on October 28th through the 30th. That was going to be a little more diverse because they're going to start talking about different alternative products like Delta-8, kratom, and mushrooms. So this is the magical medicinal mushrooms. So they're even going to have a talk, what is Delta-8 and the blurred lines of its legality, and another one, the power of medical mushroom extract. So that should be pretty interesting. If you guys got some time to get out there, whether you are in the industry or not, I think it'll be pretty interesting and educational. So that's all today for What the Hemp Wednesday. We'll be back next Wednesday. Of course, I'm Derek. We are Cherry Blossom CBD, and we will see you very soon. Actually, we'll see you on Friday. We're talking about Borneo, one of the greatest terpenes of all time. So we'll hit you with that on Friday. We're talking terpenes, but till then, we'll be back. Thank you, and have a great day.